The universe is not silent because it is empty. It may be silent because something out there is choosing not to speak. That idea changes everything. For decades, humans have listened to the sky. Massive radio telescopes scan the darkness. Signals are analyzed. Patterns are studied. Noise is filtered, but the result has stayed the same. Nothing confirmed, nothing undeniable, just silence, and that silence is starting to look less like an accident because the numbers do not agree with what we see. There are more than 100 billion galaxies in the observable universe. Each galaxy holds billions or even trillions of stars. Around many of those stars are planets. Recent discoveries suggest that Earth-like planets may not be rare at all. Some estimates say there could be billions of potentially habitable worlds in our galaxy alone. That is not speculation anymore. That is data. Even if a tiny fraction of those planets develop life, and an even smaller fraction developed intelligent life, the universe should still be full of civilizations. Not one, not a few, millions, maybe more. Some of those civilizations should be older than us, much older. Even a civilization that is just a few thousand years ahead of humanity could develop technology far beyond anything we understand today. Give that civilization 1,000,000 years, and the difference becomes almost impossible to comprehend. Now consider this, the Milky Way galaxy is about 100,000 light years across. That sounds huge, but on cosmic timescales it is not. A sufficiently advanced civilization could explore or even spread across the entire galaxy in a relatively short period of time, not billions of years, not even millions in some models, possibly just a few million years or less. That is a blink on the scale of the universe. So if intelligent life is common, and if even a few civilizations became advanced, the galaxy should already show clear signs of their existence. Signals, structures, energy usage, something, but we see nothing, no confirmed transmissions, no alien spacecraft, no evidence of massive engineering projects, no signs of civilizations harvesting the energy of stars, no clear proof that anyone has ever been here. This contradiction has a name. It is one of the most famous questions in science. If life should be everywhere, where is everyone? This is not just a scientific puzzle. It is a deep and unsettling mystery because the more we learn about the universe, the stronger the paradox becomes. In the past, it was easy to assume that life was rare, maybe Earth was special, maybe the conditions needed for life were so unlikely that it happened only once. But modern astronomy has changed that view. We now know that planets are everywhere. Some orbit in the so-called habitable zone where liquid water can exist. Organic molecules, the building blocks of life, have been found in space, even on comets and distant clouds of gas. The ingredients for life are not unique to Earth. They are spread across the cosmos. That makes the silence harder to explain, and this is where things start to become disturbing, because the answer may not be about distance or technology. It may not be that alien civilizations cannot reach us. It may be that they choose not to. Think about what that means. A civilization that is millions of years ahead would have technology far beyond simple radio signals. They would not need to shout into space. They could detect planets like Earth from across vast distances. They could study atmospheres. They could see chemical signatures that reveal life. In fact, Earth has been broadcasting signs of life for billions of years. Our atmosphere changed dramatically when life first appeared. Oxygen levels rose. That is a strong signal, a clear sign that something unusual is happening on this planet. And in the last century, humans have added another layer. Radio waves, television signals, radar transmissions, all leaking into space, expanding outward at the speed of light. Right now, there is a growing bubble around Earth, a sphere of signals that has already reached dozens of nearby star systems. If anyone is out there, they could already know we exist. They could know that this planet has life. They could know that intelligent life is emerging. They could even be watching, and yet there is still silence, no reply, no greeting, no warning, nothing. That leads to a question that feels uncomfortable, not why we have not found them, but why they have not contacted us. This shifts the entire perspective. Instead of asking why aliens are missing, we start asking why they are avoiding us. And that opens the door to possibilities that are far more unsettling, because silence can mean many things. It can mean fear. It can mean strategy. It can mean that making contact is dangerous. There are theories that suggest the universe is not a friendly place for civilizations. That advanced species learn quickly that revealing their existence carries risk. That survival may depend on staying hidden. Other ideas suggest something even more troubling. that civilizations do not last long, that most of them disappear before they ever reach a stage where they can explore the stars. And then there is another possibility, one that is rarely discussed outside serious scientific circles, that we are being observed, not contacted, not helped, not guided, just observed, like a developing system, like an experiment, like something that is not yet ready. None of these ideas are comfortable, but they are grounded in real attempts to solve a very real problem. The silence of the universe is not just empty space, it is a signal in itself, a signal that something is happening on a much larger scale. In this video, you are going to explore the real reasons why alien civilizations may never contact us. Not because they cannot, but because they choose not to. You will see the hidden logic behind cosmic silence, the survival strategies that advanced civilizations might follow, the theories that scientists take seriously, even if they sound unsettling. And by the end, the biggest mystery may no longer be whether we are alone. It may be whether being found is something we should truly want. Welcome to the channel. If you want to explore the deepest mysteries of the universe and uncover the truths that most people never hear about, subscribe now and be part of the journey into the unknown. The universe should be full of life. That is not a wild belief. It is a conclusion based on numbers. There are billions of galaxies. Each one holds billions of stars. Around many of those stars are planets. This is no longer a guess. Modern telescopes have confirmed thousands of exoplanets, and many of them exist in regions where life could survive. Some of these planets are rocky like Earth, some orbit stars similar to our Sun. Some even show signs of water vapor in their atmospheres. The basic ingredients for life are everywhere. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. These elements are not rare. They are produced in stars and spread across space. They form molecules, they form chemistry. Under the right conditions, they can form life. And on Earth, life appeared relatively quickly. Within a few 100 million years after the planet cooled, simple life already existed. That is a short time on a cosmic scale. It suggests that life does not need perfect conditions, it just needs the right ones. Now take that idea and apply it across the galaxy. Even if life forms on only a small fraction of suitable planets, there should still be millions of living worlds in the Milky Way alone. Then comes the next step. Intelligence on Earth, it took billions of years for intelligent life to emerge. But once it did, progress accelerated fast. In just a few thousand years, humans moved from simple tools to advanced technology. In just over a century, humans developed radio, space travel, and global communication. That speed matters, because if another civilization started earlier than us, even by a small margin, they could be far ahead right now. A civilization that is 1 million years older than humanity would not just be advanced. It would be unrecognizable. And here is where the paradox becomes impossible to ignore. Even with basic technology, it is possible to travel between stars over long periods of time. Slow probes, self-replicating machines, generation ships, these ideas are already within human imagination. An advanced civilization would not need to move fast. It would only need to keep going. Step by step, star by star, over millions of years, such a civilization could spread across the entire galaxy. That is still a short time compared to the age of the Milky Way, which is over 10 billion years old. So if intelligent life is common, and if even one civilization developed this capability, the galaxy should already be filled with signs of their presence. Not subtle signs, obvious ones. Massive energy usage, artificial structures, signals that stand out from natural noise, but none of that has been confirmed. The sky remains quiet. This contradiction has a name. It is called the Fermi Paradox. A simple question with no simple answer. If life is common and intelligence is possible and time is vast, where is everyone? Scientists have tried to solve this puzzle for decades. Some say life is actually rare. Others argue that intelligent life is extremely unlikely. Some believe civilizations destroy themselves before they can expand, but each explanation has weaknesses because the numbers still suggest that someone somewhere should have made it, and if even one civilization made it, the effects should be visible by now. The silence starts to feel unnatural, not like absence, more like absence with a reason, because random processes do not create perfect silence across such a vast scale. The universe is chaotic, it is noisy, it is active, stars explode, galaxies collide, signals travel in all directions. Yet when it comes to intelligent life, there is nothing clear, nothing direct, it feels controlled, and that leads to a deeper and more unsettling possibility. The silence may not be a failure, it may be a decision. Not a limit of technology, but a strategy. Because if civilizations are out there, and if they are advanced enough to spread across the stars, then staying silent might not be a weakness. It might be the smartest move they can make. There is a theory that changes the way the universe feels, not bright, not open, not welcoming, dark. In this view, space is not an empty stage waiting for life to appear and connect. It is more like a vast forest at night. Every tree hides something. Every movement matters. Every sound can give away a position. And every creature is trying to survive. This idea is known as the dark forest theory. It starts with a simple assumption. Any civilization that reaches a certain level of intelligence will value survival above everything else. Survival becomes the highest rule, higher than curiosity, higher than exploration, higher than communication. Because in a universe filled with unknown others, one mistake can end of nav. A right thing, there is a problem that no civilization can solve completely. It is the problem of uncertainty. You cannot truly know the intentions of another civilization. You cannot see their full capabilities. You cannot predict their future actions. They may seem peaceful today, they may change tomorrow, they may be weaker than you or far more advanced. Even a small chance of danger becomes unacceptable when the stakes are total extinction. So a new logic emerges. If you reveal your location, you take a risk. If you stay silent, you stay safe. And if you detect another civilization before they detect you, you face a choice. Ignore them and hope they remain harmless, or remove the threat before it grows. This is where the theory becomes disturbing, because under this logic, the safest move is not to communicate, it is to hide. And if necessary, to strike first. That does not mean every civilization is aggressive. It means every civilization must consider the possibility that others could be. And that alone is enough to create fear. In such an environment, silence is not strange. It is expected. Every signal becomes dangerous. Every broadcast becomes a beacon. Even a simple message saying hello could reveal your exact location to something far more powerful. There are already signs that humans have not been completely silent. In 1974, a strong radio message was sent from Earth toward a distant star cluster. It contained basic information about humanity and our location. It was a scientific experiment, a demonstration of capability. But many scientists later questioned that decision because once a signal leaves Earth, it cannot be taken back. It keeps traveling, expanding outward, reaching systems that we may never even know exist. And our everyday technology adds to this. Military radar systems are among the strongest signals produced on Earth. For decades, they have been leaking into space. These signals are powerful enough to be detected from many light years away with the right equipment. That means Earth is not invisible. We are already glowing in the dark. If the dark forest theory is correct, this could be a problem, because any advanced civilization scanning the galaxy would not need to search randomly. They could look for signs like these: artificial signals, unnatural patterns, evidence of intelligence, unnatural patterns, evidence of intelligence. And once they find it, the decision begins. Wait and watch or act before it is too late. This creates a universe filled with quiet observers, civilizations that listen but never respond, civilizations that hide their presence so well that they leave no trace, civilizations that understand one rule above all others: do not reveal yourself, because in a dark forest, the one who makes noise is the one who gets found, and being found may not lead to contact. It may lead to something else entirely. If this picture is even partly true, then the silence of the universe is not calm or peaceful. It is tense. It is controlled. It is filled with unseen watchers who have already made a choice to remain hidden. And that means the quiet sky above us may not be empty at all. It may be full of civilizations holding their breath. There is another explanation for the silence. It does not rely on hiding. It does not rely on fear between civilizations. It relies on failure. This idea is called the Great Filter. It suggests that somewhere along the path from simple life to advanced civilization, there is a barrier, a stage that is extremely hard to pass. So hard that most life never makes it through. Life may begin often. Simple organisms may appear on many planets, but something stops the process before it reaches intelligence, or before intelligence becomes powerful enough to explore the stars. That something is the filter. And at sea, Bold exists at many different points. It could be at the very beginning. The jump from chemistry to life might be incredibly rare. Even though the ingredients are common, exact conditions needed for life to start may almost never happen. But there is a problem with that idea. Life on Earth appeared quickly after the planet became stable. That suggests the early step might not be the hardest one, so the filter might come later. It could be the step from simple cells to complex organisms. For billions of years, life on Earth remained simple. Single-celled organisms dominated the planet for most of its history. Complex life appeared much later. That delay may not be random. It could be a rare event. Then comes intelligence. Out of millions of species on Earth, only one developed advanced intelligence and technology. That step alone may be extremely unlikely, but even that might not be the final barrier, because intelligence does not guarantee survival. In fact, intelligence may create new risks. A developing civilization gains power. It learns to control energy, it builds machines, it changes its environment, it grows rapidly, and with that power comes danger. Self-destruction becomes possible. Nuclear weapons are one example. In short time, humanity developed the ability to destroy entire cities. With further escalation, global destruction becomes possible. This is not theory, this is a real capability that has already existed for decades. Then there is environmental collapse. A civilization may consume its resources faster than the planet can recover. Climate systems may change, ecosystems may fail. The balance that supports life may break down. This process can be slow, but it can also reach a tipping point. And then there's artificial intelligence. A system more advanced than human intelligence could solve complex problems. It could improve itself. It could grow beyond human control. If such a system is not aligned with human survival, the outcome could be unpredictable. These risks are not separate. They can combine. A civilization becomes powerful. It creates tools. Those tools increase risk, and eventually one mistake may be enough. The great filter suggests that most civilizations reach this stage and fail. They rise, they develop, and then they disappear. No expansion, no signals, no long-term survival, just silence. This leads to two possibilities. The filter is behind us. That would mean humanity has already passed the hardest stage, that the rare events required for life and intelligence have already happened here. That we are among the few that made it this far, that sounds hopeful, but there is another possibility. The filter is ahead of us. That would mean the most dangerous stage has not happened yet, that civilizations reach a certain level of advancement, and then something stops them, something they cannot overcome. If that is true, then the silence in the universe is not just empty space. It is evidence that others tried and failed, worlds that once had life, worlds that may have had intelligence, now quiet, now invisible, because they never reached the point where they could spread across the stars, or they reached it and something ended them. And there is a deeper concern hidden in this idea. The filter may not be random. It may not be different for every civilization. It may be the same barrier appearing again and again, a stage built into the path of development itself, a stage that waits for every intelligent species. And if that is the case, then the silence is not just about the past. It is about something that could still be ahead. There is another possibility that feels quiet but deeply unsettling. We are not alone, we are being observed, but no one is stepping in. This idea, though, does not depend on fear or destruction. It depends on distance and intelligence, not distance in space, but in capability. A civilization that is millions of years ahead would not think like humans. Their science, their understanding of physics, even their sense of time could be completely different. To them, humanity may look simple, not meaningless, but not ready. There is a concept discussed in scientific circles called non-interference. The idea is simple. If a civilization encounters a less advanced one, it chooses not to interfere with its natural development. This is not just fiction. It is a real ethical question. Humanity already debates similar ideas. When studying isolated tribes on Earth, many researchers agree that contact should be limited or avoided. Introducing advanced technology or knowledge too early can disrupt entire cultures. It can erase identities. It can cause collapse. Now extend that idea to a cosmic scale. An advanced civilization may see Earth and recognize life and may detect intelligence, but it may also see instability, conflict, rapid change. From that perspective, contact may do more harm than good. So they wait, they observe, they collect data, and and they leave no trace. There is another layer to this. Observation does not require physical presence. With advanced technology, a civilization could monitor planets from a distance. They could analyze atmospheric changes, they could track signals, they could detect patterns of activity. They would not need to land, they would not need to send ships, they could watch from afar. And they could have been doing this for a very long time. Long before humans existed, Earth has gone through dramatic changes, ice ages, mass extinctions, the rise and fall of species. A distant observer would have seen all of it. They would have watched dinosaurs dominate the planet, then disappear. They would have seen mammals rise, then evolve, and eventually they would have seen humans appear. From that viewpoint, humanity is very new. Modern civilization is even newer, just a few thousand years. Technology, as it exists today, is only a tiny fraction of that time. To an advanced observer, this may look like an early stage, a phase that needs to unfold on its own. There is also a more unsettling interpretation, that we are not just being observed, we are being studied like a long-term experiment, not in a cruel sense, not necessarily with direct control, but as a system to watch and understand. How does intelligence develop under certain conditions? How does a species handle power? How does it respond to risk? These are questions that can be answered by observation alone. No need to interfere. No need to reveal presence. And if this is true, then the silence is not because no one is there. It is because they are choosing not to engage. Not yet. This leads to a strange conclusion. We may not be alone in the universe, but we may not matter enough to be contacted. Not because we're insignificant in a negative sense, but because we are still in an early stage, like a signal that is too weak, like a system that is not stable. And until something changes, the silence continues. But there is another possibility hidden inside this idea. The silence may not only be about observation, it may also be about control. Because if contact is being avoided on purpose, then it raises a deeper question. Whether we are simply being watched or whether we are being kept separate from something much larger, there's a final possibility that feels even more distant. Contact is not being prevented, it is being ignored, not out of fear, not out of caution, but because it no longer matters. An advanced civilization may reach a point where communication with others is no longer useful, not dangereux, us, not difficult, just unnecessary. At a certain level of development, priorities change. A young civilization looks outward, it searches for others, it sends signals, it hopes for a response. That stage is driven by curiosity and the need to understand its place in the universe, but a much older civilization may move beyond that phase. It may already understand what it needs to understand, it may already know that other life exists, and it may see no value in reaching out. There is also the problem of difference. Not just in technology, but in thinking. Human communication is based on shared concepts, language, symbols, logic that comes from human experience. Another form of intelligence may not share any of that. It may not think in words, it may not think in linear time, it may not even use signals that we recognize as communication. Even on Earth, intelligence can look very different. Octopuses solve problems in ways that are hard for humans to interpret. They have complex behaviors, but their minds work in a structure that is not similar to ours. Communication with them is limited, even though they live on the same planet. Now, extend that gap across millions of years of evolution and advancement. The difference may become impossible to bridge. An advanced civilization may not be able to communicate with us in any meaningful way, not because it lacks the ability, but because there is no shared framework. Any message could be too complex to understand or too simple to matter. There is also the issue of time. Human life is short. Human history is brief. An advanced civilization may operate on timescales that stretch far beyond human perception. They may plan across thousands or millions of years. A signal sent today might not be answered for centuries, not because of distance, but because their sense of time is different. To them, a long delay may feel normal. To us, it feels like silence. There is another possibility that pushes this even further. They may have moved beyond physical space. Advanced theories in physics suggest that reality may have layers that are not directly visible. Extra dimensions, quantum states, forms of existence that do not rely on matter and the way humans understand it. A civilization that masters such physics may no longer need planets, stars, or physical travel. It may exist in forms that are invisible to our instruments, not hidden, just operating on a level that we cannot detect. In that case, looking for radio signals or spacecraft would be pointless. We would be searching in the wrong place. This changes the meaning of silence. It is not absence. It is not absence. It is mismatch. A difference so large that connection becomes unlikely, not because of hostility, but because of scale, like trying to communicate across entirely different realities. And if that is true, then the gap between civilizations is not just distance in space, it is distance in understanding. A gap so wide that even if others exist, and even if they are aware of us, the idea of contact may not even enter their thinking. And that raises a final, quiet tension. The universe may not be empty, it may not be dangerous. It may simply be too vast, too complex, and too different for connection to ever happen at all. The silence of the universe does not mean nothing is out there. It may mean everything is happening out there, just not in the way we expected. For a long time, silence felt comforting. It suggested that humanity might be alone, safe, undisturbed. But now that silence feels different, it feels heavy, because every explanation leads to something unsettling. Some civilizations may be hiding, staying quiet to survive, watching the darkness and refusing to make a sound. Some may have already failed, rising for a brief moment in cosmic time, then disappearing before they could ever reach the stars. Some may be watching, observing from a distance, waiting, studying, choosing not to interfere, and some may be so far beyond us that communication no longer matters to them at all. Different paths, different reasons, same result, silence. This changes the question entirely. It is no longer just about finding life. It is about understanding why that life stays quiet, because the universe may not be empty, it may be full of intelligence, ancient, advanced, silent, and that silence may be intentional. That is the part that stays with you, not the idea that we are alone, but the possibility that we are not and no one wants to be found. If this made you think differently about the universe, take a moment to like the video. It helps more people see content like this. And if you want to explore deeper ideas that challenge everything we think we know, subscribe to the channel and stay with us on this journey into the unknown. Because sometimes the most important answers are hidden in the silence.